You know those training montages from the 1980s movies like Rocky and The Karate Kid? Some inspirational metal music blasts as you watch the hero grow from a zero to a ripped fighting machine over the course of about 60 seconds. Well, get ready, because for the next 28 days, you are going to be the hero starring in your own training montage, and I'm going to be your wise and mysterious mentor. Unlike the 30-second clips in the movies, real-life training montages take about 28 days. This is the time you need to shed your terrible habits like a snakeskin and get seriously addicted to an invigorating new lifestyle. You already have a course teaching you scientifically tested and proven health information that can turn you into a nutrition genius. So, here's the hard part. Many people know how to exercise and that they should eat healthy, but they don't. Why not? Because getting in shape takes willpower, and everyday life is filled with temptation and distraction. Office party cake, movie popcorn. These little things make our weight loss mission easy to forget or ignore. So, for the next 28 days, a lot of the willpower work will be done for you with the recipes and shopping lists in this course. All you need to do is follow the instructions. I'm going to tell you now about one of the biggest secrets of weight loss. This part is heavy and hard-hitting because I want you to succeed and avoid falling into this common trap. Have you ever wanted to eat healthy and exercise but just kept putting it off? You know what you're supposed to do and the steps you're supposed to take, but you just don't. You keep saying you'll start tomorrow or next week or sometime soon. Don't delegate all of your weight loss plans to your future self. That person is no stronger or better equipped with willpower than the person who is listening to this right now. Think about yourself 90 days from now. Don't you want to do that person a huge favor? Imagine waking up in 90 days with the body you want and a sense of accomplishment that you put in the effort to finally make your life happier and healthier once and for all. Someday is not a day of the week. Whether it's a health problem, clothes that don't fit, allergies, or just watching the scale break new records, most of us need a serious wake-up call from denial to make an impactful life change and make sure someday becomes today. It's time for you to find your own wake-up call, even if it means 24 hours gorging on Jack in the Box and donuts. If one final bender is what you think you need to rid crappy food from your system once and for all, go for it, and then never look back. Luckily, I have another powerful mental exercise we can try so you don't have to go that far. Most fad diets fail because they don't actually address the real hurdle of weight loss. It's all in your head. Set your mind straight and the rest will follow. Bear with me, I'm about to get Tony Robbins on you for a second. Getting in shape is actually easier than most people let on, and it feels incredible. Eating healthy and exercising is fun and rewarding, but sometimes in life we're just so terrified we won't succeed, we panic and fail before even trying. I bet the reason you have failed at your resolutions in the past is because your unconscious mind is telling you a story. This story is made up of expectations, beliefs, and perceptions you've developed, and whether they're true or not, you choose to believe them. You don't realize it now, but this narrative you've created is telling you don't have what it takes to be the happier, fitter, more successful person you want to be. You might have a few other barriers in the way, like fear of failure, denial, belief you don't deserve what you want, or just plain food addiction. Thankfully, this is just a narrative, and it can be changed and rewritten pretty quickly. In fact, that's what we're going to do right now. Just because you haven't done it in the past doesn't mean you won't be able to do it in the future. Case study after case study proves that writing down goals, to-do lists, and personal narratives is just one of the highest factors leading to success versus failure. Charles Duhigg illustrates a scientific-backed example of this in his book, The Power of Habit. Duhigg describes his finding from a 1992 British study involving lower-class elderly patients averaging 68 years old who were recovering from recent hip or knee replacement surgery. A psychologist was examining ways to increase the patient's willpower to keep up with the arduous rehabilitation process. Here is a direct quote from the book. The Scottish study's participants were the types of people most likely to fail at rehabilitation. The scientists conducting the experiment wanted to see if it was possible to help them harness their willpower. She gave each patient a booklet after their surgeries that detailed their rehab schedule, and in the back were 13 additional pages, one for each week, with the blank spaces and instructions. My goal this week is blank. Write down exactly what you're going to do. For example, if you're going to go for a walk this week, write down where and when you are going to walk. She asked patients to fill in each of those pages with specific plans. Then she compared the recoveries of those who wrote out goals with those of patients who had received the same booklets but didn't write anything. It seems absurd to think that giving people a few pieces of blank paper might make a difference in how quickly they recover from surgery. But when the researcher visited the patients 3 months later, she found a striking difference between the two groups. The patients who had written plans in their booklets had started walking almost twice as fast as the ones who had not. They were putting on their shoes, doing the laundry, and making themselves meals quicker than the patients who hadn't scribbled out goals ahead of time. The psychologist wanted to understand why. She examined the booklets and discovered that most of the blank pages had been filled with specific detailed plans about the most mundane aspects of recovery. For example, one patient had written, "I will walk to the bus stop tomorrow to meet my wife from work." Then notice what time he would leave, the route he would walk, what he would wear, which coat he would bring, and so on and so forth. In a similar study, another patient wrote a series of very specific schedules regarding the exercises he would do each time he went to the bathroom. A third wrote a minute-by-minute itinerary for walking around the block. The psychologist scrutinized the booklets and noticed that many of the plans had something in common. They focused on how patients would handle a specific moment of anticipated pain. The patients' plans were built around inflection points when they knew their pain and thus temptation to quit would be strongest. Quoted from Charles Duhigg, The Power of Habit, Why We Do What We Do in Life and Business, page 144, Random House, Inc., Kindle edition. The nurse in this study was surprised to learn that the patients who wrote down their goals heal quickly. But even more interesting was that if they wrote down their plan of attack in a moment of weakness, this helped them cope and perform far better in moments of being tested. Recovering from hip or knee replacement surgery is absolutely more painful and difficult than trying to skip donuts for a month. Imagine what you could do if you started writing down your plans to exercise daily and overcome food addiction. Let's rewrite your narrative. Scribbling down how you will handle moments of weakness will skyrocket your mental strength through the roof. When faced with a challenge or moment of self-doubt, you will already have a plan you can refer to that will keep you on track. So, now we know that writing something down, even privately, strengthens your commitment to it. Let's apply that knowledge. Your Day 2 mission is to set 2 to 6 fitness goals and write them down. Take today to really think about the things that have held you back from accomplishing what you want. Write them down and resolve to get past them. Choose the weight or health level you would like to be at and write that down too. Do you want to do a handstand, run a 5K? Get creative. The more exciting your goals, the more exciting you will be to go after them. Then decide that you are going to commit 100% to eating healthy and working towards these goals for the next 90 days. Next up, make sure to check in with your meal plan to see what recipes you're supposed to cook today.